And we're live. Hey, everybody,
Hey,
welcome back to the channel. Thanks for streaming.
nice.
um, yeah, it's a good touch, huh? I watch a lot of YouTube, so I know how to do this thing. Um, welcome back to the DV podcast. Logan and Adam here. Just gonna hit on the member of the month and talk to her about, not hit on her. Why did I say that? Hit on? That was like the bad, wrong choice of wording. Um, Pat, I know you're watching this, so don't get, yeah, nothing weird. Um, Touch on the member of the month and then go from there. Give you some updates for the gym. We have the open coming up this week on Thursday. Uh, I don't know. I don't know what actual time the announcement is. Um, Let me look that up. But if you don't
I
know
can
what
look
the
it up.
open is, okay, cool. The Open is a series of 3 weeks. One workout gets released every Thursday, I think around 1, noon or 1, by CrossFit HQ. We call it CrossFit HQ, CrossFit headquarters, Dave Castro. And this is essentially the beginning of the CrossFit Games season. So if you are a competitive athlete or just doing CrossFit to be healthy, it's a really, really good way to be a part of the community. uh, Essentially, what you would do is you would sign up on the CrossFit Games website, games.crossfit.com. Sign up. There's a fee of, I think it's like $20. And what that does is it gets you on the leaderboard. So every Thursday, CrossFit will announce a workout for the next 3 weeks. You have until the following Monday to complete that workout, and you will have a judge. We, as your gym owners and coaches, will program that workout for. Nice that. We'll program that workout for the following day. So Thursday night, it is open gym, and we will have a workout scheduled, something light, something more cardio based, so as to not interfere with the next day. But if you cannot make it in on Friday to do the workout, you can come in on Thursday night and do the workout. But we will program that CrossFit Open workout for Friday, so for the following day. And then you have Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, even Monday before a certain time frame. I think it's 5 o'clock to get that workout done and judged and put in on the CrossFit Games website. So that looks like, yep,
1 p.m.
1 p.m. the workout is announced and scores are due the following Monday by 6. And that might be, I don't know what time, is that our time frame?
I
Not sure
believe
if that,
so. Although,
okay.
notably, March 3rd at 6 p.m., but then the next two Mondays are at 5 p.m.
Hmm,
So
interesting.
just to be sure,
Okay.
the 5.
Yeah. So, I mean, by that point, you'd probably want to have the workout done anyways already. The only time you're really doing the workout on Monday, because we will have workouts programmed for that next week, is if you're trying to redo it to get a better score. And you don't really want to do that. Once you've done the workout, um, you're pretty locked in. So, and then that's your score. And when I say judging, by the way, judging means there will be another gym member that will be standing there with a clipboard and with a printed out piece of paper of the workout and making sure that you're doing all the reps to standard and you're counting the reps correctly. So that's their job as a judge. Just know that they don't have any other job. So if you're like, hey, put the fan on me or whatever during that time, the judges have two jobs. It's to make sure you're withholding the standard, and it's to make sure that your reps are counted correctly, not even necessarily count it out loud, but if they're a nice judge and you want them to do that, they'll do that for you. So that's that. We've been prepping for it, doing pacing workouts, and they've been terrible this past month. But they have been getting us mentally prepared, I feel, for the open coming up and how hard we push ourselves. There's nothing inherently different about open workouts than what we program at the gym, but other than the fact that people push themselves as hard as possible in the open workouts to get the best score that they can. And so I wanted us to be ready for whatever that looks like or feels like. So we've been testing a range of different types of workouts, and our members know about that already, so I won't go into that. yeah, and that's about it. We have the open T-shirt that's gonna go live tonight. I don't know, Adam, if you have a picture of that.
Yeah, give me
Um,
a second.
we went with the same designer that created our Hot Shot shirts this year. Hot Shot shirts. That's hard to say. Boy, but so if you look at it, it has the CrossFit trademark logo on the front, and then on the back, all gas, no brakes, baby. Going hard. The kettlebell has the year 2025 on it for this year's Open. So pretty
Very
cool design, a little different. I like it. And probably be getting. We're probably going to do a group of what are the racerback tanks going. I know some of the females don't like t-shirts and they want to wear tank tops, and Bonfire doesn't do the racerback female tanks. So I think we're gonna get a crop of those going here pretty soon too. So we'll have those for sale when they come in. They might come in halfway through the Open, but at least you'll get a cool Open tank that's different than all of our other t-shirts. So we're working with somebody local. I'm talking to him right now. So yeah, racerback for Patrick. All right, that's great. But that's all I have for announcement wise. So yeah, should we
Let's do
invite the
it.
member of the month on?
Yes, let's do it. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Here comes Lizzi. Boom. Oh, I got to do it this way. Hey, Lizzi, welcome.
Hello.
How are you doing
Liz,
today?
I'm doing well. It's been a good day.
she's in a
Nice.
tropical paradise. Is there a bird behind you? What
No,
is?
these are all my plants. I have
Oh,
lots more. These are just some.
okay,
Just gonna comment
that's awesome.
on how well lit you are, Lizzi.
Thank you. I will let my lighting guy know. Yeah, he was really taking it serious. He was trying everything to make sure I had good lighting, and he did really good. It was funny.
Nice.
You're your lighting guy.
All right, so I'm sure you know this, but the purpose of this podcast is to help us grow our community and get people talking in a way that we don't normally do at the gym. So we're going to learn some things about Lizzi, our member of the month for February. Before we do that, Logan, you want to just highlight some of the positive attributes that that led to us picking Lizzi for member of the month?
Yeah, yep, totally. So, funny thing is, and Lizzie will probably go into this a little bit later, but Lizzie and I were a part of Hammer and way back in the day, what, 9, 10 years ago, and Patrick as well. And Lizzie's always been a super hard worker. And I've honestly, your name has come up on the member of the month like multiple times. And I feel like we're just now getting to you. And there's been like a list where I'm like, oh, this person's been on the list, so I need it. We need to do this person next month. And then it's like, oh, but this person's been on the list too. And you've been one of those people that's just been like there the whole time. And I'm like, we got to get to Lizzie. So, and obviously you'll share about your, background and everything. But Lizzie has had multiple knee surgeries and still comes in and rocks front squat days, squat clean days, overhead squat days, all the squats. And I think that that's commendable for somebody that has um, something that hinders them from being able to sometimes do the full performance, but still puts in 150% of the effort is what CrossFit's all about. And we tell people that all the time. I think I share that with a lot of people, even my own parents. I tell my parents all the time. My mom's like, oh, I could never do what you guys do. And I'm like, but you can. Maybe not to the same extent, but you can do it. Like, and you can push yourself and get in better health.
Mhm.
And I think that Lizzie's a prime candidate for that. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Lizzie, I think that's awesome. I know anytime I've been in there with you, you've been encouraging me and kind of like not letting me fall into the weak ways that I would naturally fall into and being lazy and maybe going a little slower than I should. But so I appreciate that as well. All right, we're gonna jump into some basic background questions. So, Lizzie, tell us about where you grew up, your family, and like if you did any sports or like what you studied in school.
Okay. So I was born in Guatemala, and at the age of 8, I vaguely remember fleeing the country with my family under dangerous circumstances. My father and a few of his colleagues had been threatened with death of their families after protesting unfair treatment at work. Their manager had accused them of being anarchists and revolutionaries and
Wow.
sent the militia after them. Tragically, my father witnessed one of his colleagues ultimately killed his entire family.
Wow.
And so time wasn't on my father's side, so he bought visas for us and we fled to the US. We had family already established here, my grandmother, my aunt, and my uncle, who provided a sense of stability as we started over. Once we were safe, my father began the long process of applying for residency. 8 years later, we became legal residents, and in 2001, I became a U.S. citizen after serving 5 years in the Marine Corps.
Nice.
My parents placed a strong emphasis on education and success, constantly encouraging me to excel and become something big. Most importantly, about 5 years after arriving in the U.S., my dad became a preacher and a pastor.
Wow.
And their primary focus was ensuring that we didn't go to hell. They also had
Dang,
hopes
that's good.
that I would marry a pastor or a missionary. However, they weren't aware of how much I struggled growing up in all areas of my life. I tried to please them as best as I could. I graduated high school despite a grueling 4 years and even tried community college, but realized school wasn't a fit for me. So when I was 21, I was still living with my parents, but we constantly clashed over how I wanted to live my life. I remember that my middle brother had left home before me and joined the army, and he seemed to be doing well, which got me thinking. So one day I visited a local recruiting office and walked into the Marine Corps office. The recruiters described the Marines as the best at everything: strength, speed, practicality, weapons handling, and like so many other things. What really drew me in was the emphasis on physical fitness and the intense training regimens. Growing up, I was naturally athletic and very competitive. I played competitive softball and loved winning. I had a knack for picking up any sport and excelling at it. The idea of challenging physical training really excited me. So I signed up for the Marine Corps. Boot camp was surprisingly physically easy for me, but it was mentally challenging. That was the hard part. My first orders were to Okinawa, Japan, which ended up changing my life completely. That's where I met Patrick. He was a young Lance Corporal Neylon. He was incredibly good looking. I think he still is. We started hanging out all the time. It was always Patrick and Lizzie. Everyone knew Patrick and Lizzie. Since he had already been in Okinawa for 8 months, his rotation to return to the States came up. And he was sent to Camp Pendleton. He had orders to Pendleton. I had to stay for another 8 months before my rotation came around. And not knowing where they'd send me next, I requested to get a transfer to Pendleton, hoping to see him again. And to my surprise, they granted me my request. So I was like, cool. Living arrangements on base were really strict. At like 2,100 hours, no boys were allowed in the girls' rooms and no girls in the boys' room. And one night, Patrick was in my room around 2,200 hours while I was waiting. While I was finishing getting ready, he was waiting for me. And there was a knock at the door, and it was a sentry who was doing room checks. He saw Patrick sitting on the couch, and he rudely reprimanded me, ordering me to kick him out. And I got mad and frustrated with his attitude. I snapped. I said, fine. And I slammed the door in his face. I turned around, I looked at Patrick and blurted out, do you want to get married? I started justifying it on the spot. Like, getting married would mean we could have our own place, we wouldn't be bothered, and they would give us money to live off base. And to my surprise, he's like, sure. So the following week, with just $100 and one witness, we got married at a little IG wedding chapel. Now, 27 years later, here we are. Yeah, after 4 years in the military, I decided to give education another shot. I was largely inspired by the officers around me. They're brilliant. And I wanted to be just like them. I wanted to be smart and intelligent. I started out with a degree in medical assistant, and I realized how much I'd grown in my understanding of the world and my critical thinking skills that I was lacking during high school and college. Something that was very much a challenge for me. My vocabulary had somewhat improved. My writing skills are much better. And so thanks to a blend of military experience and exposure to all the professional environment I was in my 5th year of service, I found myself in this crossroad, unsure of what I was going to do next. I wanted to go to drill instructor school, and that was at Parris Island in South Carolina. But Patrick completely opposed that. He did not want to live in the East Coast. And so my only other option was to leave the Marine Corps and just figure out a career somewhere else. So we moved back to Illinois, where I grew up, because they have a program that pays for your full tuition. They pay for the veterans' full tuition. I graduated from the University of Illinois at Chicago in 2005, with a bachelor's in science. And it was heavily focused on science because I wanted to do medical school. But, however, during the visit with a guidance counselor, I was hit with reality. She told me that doctors typically have a strong academic foundation from a young age, and their parents are deeply involved in their education, which mine were not. She reviewed my high school transcripts, which were filled with C's and D's. It's so embarrassing. And she was nice and gently suggested that medical school might not be the best fit for me. So, although my college grades were better, they're mostly A's and B's with a couple of C's, but she believed that the competitive nature of medical school would be a struggle for me. Meanwhile, I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my life. So we made a decision to move back to Arizona, and I wasn't going to pursue medical school anymore. We moved to Arizona in 2006.
I might have missed it. Did you have family here already, or is Patrick's family around?
Yeah. So Patrick was born and raised in Arizona.
Okay.
Yeah, and so when he moved out there, I don't think he's ever lived in the harsh environment like the Midwest winters. And so he actually worked in it. He was a firefighter, and he worked for the city, one of the cities out there. And funny, in 2005, we went on a cruise and we realized how much we had missed the West Coast weather. So, when we were on Pendleton, we were right by the beach. It was a walk away. We were over by Oceanside. It was beautiful, and we just missed it. So we moved to Arizona, where Patrick had family. And so I started my career here in Arizona. Initially, I thought here I'm coming in with a degree in my pocket. I'm getting ready to start in the medical field. I'm excited, and realized that a lot of these organizations, these companies, what they really needed was experience. So I started working as a beverage grower at McCormick Ranch Golf Club in Scottsdale. And I had also submitted my resume to a temp agency. And about a month into being a golf cart girl, I really received a life-changing call from this temp agency. They informed me that Phoenix Children's Hospital was looking for help in their pathology department. I was hesitant because I didn't want to leave my current employer without proper notice. I was like one of those people, like, I want to make sure everything's correct. But the lady on the other side was urging me, saying, you need to take this opportunity. Like, this is, you're a cart girl. This is your opportunity. So the
Yeah.
next day, I just didn't show up for my shift at the golf course, and I reported to the children's hospital instead. And yeah, and that's where my career started. Now I work in medical research field. Um, I work in the research department for the ALS group. Uh, that's the Lou Gehrig's disease.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And so what I do, I coordinate a repository of samples of specimens that include like serum sample, cerebral spinal fluid, urine, and whole bloods. And that's basically what I do now at St. Joe's at the BNI, the Barrows. I look back at my life, and although my journey from Guatemala to the U.S. through the military and into the medical research field has been filled with challenges and triumphs, each step has truly shaped who I am today. But that's really my story.
That's
In
so
a short.
cool.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like I've known you for so long and I never knew any of that. It's like Lizzie's always been like a mysterious, like I was in the military. And by the way, the fact that you say like that boot camp for the Marines was not that difficult, I'm like, that scares me thinking about going into it.
I think if you have this natural athleticism, the physical part is really easy, but it's the mental part that where they try to mentally break you down and reshape you and reform you. That's
Yeah,
the challenging part. That's the hard part.
sure.
Yep. If you're just naturally gifted, which I don't think I was mentally or physically, but okay. So to try to like summarize all that, refugee essentially, or like asylum from Guatemala, and then inspired by your brother to join the military in the U.S. and became a Marine, which was easy for you. That's where you met your future husband, Patrick, and then eventually landed in Arizona, and having studied science, ultimately made it into the medical field.
Correct. Yes,
That's
sir.
awesome. Okay, so tell us. I mean, I think like the themes of like being naturally like physically gifted and enjoying like challenging things, seems like the themes were already there to like make CrossFit a good match for you. But tell us how that happened, like what inspired you to get into CrossFit.
So my husband and I were going through a really challenging time in 2013, and when we came back together, he had already found Hammer, and we had been separated for 3 months. And when we got back together again, he was like physically different. He was, he looked really good. Like he was really working out. And we got back together, and he kept working out. He kept going to Hammer, and he just kind of encouraged me to give it a shot, to try it out. And so I did. And he's actually the reason why I started going to Hammer. And I enjoyed it. I didn't know what CrossFit was all about. I don't think I even knew CrossFit existed, to be honest with you. And so he's like the one that introduced me to it. Because at that time, during that time, my workouts consisted of going to the gym, lifting weights, and doing some cardio, especially on a Stairmaster. And that was it.
Mm,
And I was doing the same thing over and over, and I was getting tired, until he introduced me to CrossFit, which was pretty cool.
that's awesome. And then so you guys were at Hammer. Did you already have some of those injuries already, or did those come later?
So I had, yes, just my knee injuries. I had two tears, two ACL tears on my right and on my left. They weren't full tears, so I was still able to move. And through time, over time, they healed and they
Hmm.
scarred, and it gave me some time to continue to work out and run and do things. But after a while, the one on the right completely tore. Actually, the one on the right completely tore playing softball. I
Mm.
slipped, I twisted my knee, and it just, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
If you guys have never seen Lizzie row, she rows with like like 10% of her leg drive and like 190% of her like upper body hip and upper body pull.
It's so frustrating to have that limitation, especially for me. It really is. I'm sure there's other people like me out there where, you know, they're really gung ho about physical activity and just knowing that you have those limitations. But I try to just take it in, deal with it, and just one thing that has helped me a lot is being humble. Just having some
Yeah.
kind of humility that, you know what, at least you're moving. Be grateful you have your leg still attached, and you can still be here and do something. And so that just keeps me going. But sometimes there is some frustration, and you might see me throw my gloves or something.
No, it's honestly, it's so inspiring for, especially for people who, like, I would say, you know, half of the members at Deo are going through injuries right now. Like, I have hip stuff all the time, and back stuff, and if I'm not staying on top of it, it hinders my squatting and all of that stuff. And I pulled my back in 2020 when we took time off from the gym, and then came back and I decided to do a 3 rep max deadlift, which was not great. And you know, Alea is going through shoulder injury stuff, and I feel like we're all kind of in that every now and then. Like some days we feel really good, some days we squat below parallel, you know, and then some days it's like so hard to even get 75% of our range of motion or whatever. But I feel like that's the whole point, right? Is we're coming in and we're doing what we can with the workouts, and pushing ourselves as hard as we need to in order to get that stimulus, or that, you know, the response that we want from our bodies. And our bodies are amazing things. Like I was talking with a couple guys today about that, about how like the body's way of just like always wanting to heal itself despite like all the crap we put it through. Like I'm sure in the Marines you probably put your body through a ton. And same thing with CrossFit. We beat ourselves pretty hard in CrossFit, and the body's ability to fight back from that is I mean, it's like it's a godly thing. We were given these bodies and in His image, and honestly, I think that that's super cool. So
Oh my gosh, you
yeah,
guys, I've seen uh, cellular activity, you know, under the microscope. I've gone through so many conferences of the findings that they have had with several other studies, and I'm just like, wow, like
yeah,
the human body is unbelievable. It's
totally,
such where I call us walking chemical reactions, really.
yeah,
Stuff is
for sure.
always reacting in your body. Your cells are always at work.
Yep,
It's so cool.
yeah, right.
Yep. Okay, I think we have the basics down then. Pretty interesting backstory. Not gonna lie. Is there anything else we need to cover before we jump into some fun questions?
I feel like Lizzie was very prepared.
Yeah.
That was like the most in depth I think we've ever gone with anybody. We didn't have to ask any questions. We just went
Yeah.
for it. That was great. All right. Well, we can get fun now. And I will state this at the beginning. If there's anything that you want to pass, just say pass. We don't have to. But I'm not going to answer. I'm not going to ask anything weird. All right. So start. We've had some of these before. Some of these are repeats from other people, but I just like them. So, and then some of these are new. Um, what, in your opinion, is the worst color?
The worst what? I'm sorry.
Color.
Color. Uh, the worst color? Probably probably orange. I never really appreciated
Not
orange.
orange. Okay. No orange. Not a Cincinnati Bengals fan. All right. One of these has to go, and you can't use it for the rest of your life. A knife, a spoon, or a fork.
I think a fork. I eat a lot of foods with a spoon, and people will commonly use a fork. I use a spoon.
Like
And
what foods do you like with a spoon? Like
sometimes
pho?
sometimes I eat salads with a spoon.
Really?
Weird. When they're chopped up really small, I
Okay.
have to use a spoon. Rice, I've seen people use fork. I'll use a spoon. Eggs, scrambled
Okay.
eggs. Yeah.
That's cool. All right, that leads into my next question. Does does chopped salad belong on Mexican food?
Does what salad? I'm sorry.
Chopped.
Chopped salad belong on Mexican food? Yeah. That's actually we grew up in Guatemala growing up. It was rice and beans were staple, eggs, and then my mother would always put like a side of lettuce with like tomatoes and onions. So yeah,
Hmm.
that to me that's just normal.
Agreed. Agreed.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
All right. If you were an item at QT, the gas station, what would it be and why? If you were one item at QT at Quick Trip.
Gosh, it's a tie between Cheetos and gummy bears.
All right.
That's good.
I recently got into Cheetos because don't think anything bad, but like I'll suck the cheese off of it and then just chew on what the remaining Cheeto part is, and it has such a really delicious taste to it. I don't know how to explain it, but and then I love gummy bears. I know they're bad for you, but I love gummy bears.
That's
Just
awesome.
my road trip food.
Oh yeah. What would you be, Adam?
Um, I don't know if my answer is better than hers, but the first thing that came to mind was gasoline.
uh, Gasoline. I was thinking. I was thinking coffee. I'd either be coffee or when you said road trip food, my go-to used to be beef jerky. I
Uh,
love beef jerky on like a road trip. I don't know why.
giant
Um,
pickle.
Alea
all
said
right.
giant pickle.
Oh yeah, of course. The the just the giant like in the bag that you. Yeah, I know what my baby likes. All right. Oh what is your favorite smell? Do you have a favorite smell?
Favorite smell? Probably flowers.
Okay. You're a
Just
flower girl.
I love my plants, yes, and I love outdoor flowers and yes, flowers.
Okay. What's your favorite smell, Adam?
I don't know. Pizza,
Gasoline?
gasoline. Gasoline's not my least favorite smell.
All right. Cool.
How about yours? Have we heard that before?
Um, I,
Smell of rubber horse stall mats.
yeah. Uh, no, I like the smell of the cherry, um, the car tree that smell like this makes your car smell good, the cherry flavored one. That one, I was thinking about that actually the other day. When the guy handed me, like, I was at the car wash and the guy handed me the tree and it's like the random flavor or whatever. I really like the cherry one. Like, I would pay money for that one just because it reminds me of my childhood. My mom always used to get that one. So that's a good smell to me. I walked in the house tonight and Alea had lit some candle before we left and it smelled really good. I don't know if it was like cookies or what, but maybe Christmas. I don't know. I like a lot of things. I like a lot of smells. All right. Uh, do you have any funny nicknames?
Uh, people have called me lizard before.
Lizard. Lizzie,
Lizard.
is there a backstory to that?
It started out with my bullies in high school calling me lizard. And then I told one of my coworkers, and she's like, "Well, I'm gonna make it better. It's gonna be my term of endearment." So she'll once in a while just shout out lizard, and but
So what you're saying is that's what we say in the gym. All right, got it.
Term of endearment, though, not
Yeah.
bully.
No. Although I did tell somebody today that I think we should make bullying great again. I did say those exact words today. So, anyways,
If it's
uh,
bullying someone into the right decision or right
yes,
direction,
yes,
which we do
exactly.
at the gym all the time.
All right, what is the ugliest car?
the ugliest car.
Yeah, the ugliest. Like you see it on the like I see a Kia Soul, and I'm like, why would you buy? You went to a lot and you bought a Kia Soul, like specifically that car. Why would you ever buy that car? Anyways, what's like the ugliest car you can think of? You just hate it.
Uh, Geez, I know that there is an ugly car, and that I'll look at, I'll be like, that's so ugly. What is it? It's
I saw a girl driving a Crossfire that was like a top. The top was down. Can you look up one of those? I was behind her. Oh yeah, PT Cruiser for sure.
What's it called? A
A
crossfire?
Crossfire. I don't even know what company makes it, but it was like a what's
oh,
that called? Convertible.
Chrysler.
it's those box cars. They look like a box. I don't know what they're called. I don't know cars,
An
but
XB.
it's just a box.
Is it
To
a
me,
Scion?
is it what?
A Scion XB? Oh, that's the Crossfire. Look at
It
that.
might
Look at how
be.
ugly that thing is. That thing woke up and its mom was like, "You're ugly."
Oops. Didn't mean
Dude,
to do that.
that thing was born and it even knew that it wasn't good looking when it was born.
This guy.
Oh, that's the worst car.
What's the other one? Scion XD.
I think it's
XB, X
D?
like an Xbox. Is this the car you're talking about? I feel like
yes,
brother, my
yeah,
brother-in-law has one of these.
that white one. Yeah, it's like really square. It's yeah.
That one, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry if you guys have one of those out there. I'm sorry.
You know what? When I was writing this question, I was like, "Ooh, we're gonna ruffle some feathers with some members if they watch this."
Dude, I wanna take this picture and just superimpose Lizzie's face on it.
Yeah, right there. Oh, that's happening. That's gonna be in the sugar wad. That's gonna be in the future of sugar wad right there. And just is that a
Yeah.
T on her shirt? We can make that an L for sure. Oh, that's amazing. All right,
In the
ugly cars.
you're gonna make it orange.
Orange.
Yeah,
Oh
make it.
yeah. Oh
Yeah,
Good
orange
call.
shirt, orange car. All right. Let's move on. Let's stop making people mad. We have what
Oh,
is the worst sandwich?
there's
Oh
some
wait,
there's
what?
some action in the chat.
Okay,
Patrick
what do
said
we got?
Aztec, and then he said
What's it?
Cube.
Oh, cubes
Aztec,
are
it's the
gross.
car from Breaking Bad.
What's an Aztec? I've never seen that before.
Is it a
I don't know if I've
Pontiac?
ever.
I forget. Aztec car.
I honestly don't know. I can't think off the top of my head what an Aztec looks like.
Ooh, they are pretty ugly. It's a Pontiac, I think.
The cube is gross too, though. I agree. The cube, like with the window around the back of it. Who thought that was cool? Hey, I'll also throw this out there. I'm not a huge fan of the Cybertruck. I do not like the Cybertruck. Oh, that car. Look at that yellow one with the weird grill. It's like
Ooh, yeah.
yeah, what is that even? It looks like a dinosaur.
Oh man, $20,000.
$20,000?
That's what it said.
What's
Okay.
what's going on with the blinker like separated from the headlight? And why is there no gas cap on it or gas like cover?
I don't know, man.
That might be top contender right there. Oh yeah. All right,
This is fun.
we need to move on. All right, we're gonna ruffle some more feathers. What is the worst sandwich ingredient in your opinion? Like, what will you not put on a sandwich?
Huh. It's hard to say because I don't know. That one's a hard one. I would just go with onions. I just don't like onions, like raw
Okay.
onion. What's it, onions?
Yeah, that's fine. All right. I'm gonna skip this one. Kind of dumb. I'll ask it. Which movie character would you want to star in a role with side by side?
Movie character?
Yeah, like
Gosh.
what? Who would you want to be in a movie with?
I don't know. I don't watch, like, I don't get into the whole movie show things as often, so I'm not very familiar. Um,
You could just say Pat.
Pat.
Pat. Didn't he star in Top Gun? All
Okay,
right.
I'm gonna ask a question that's similar. If there was to be a movie about your life, who would play you?
Ooh.
Probably, I think her name is Rose Byrne.
Rose Byrne.
Yeah, she
Who's
was
Rose?
in one of the X-Men movies.
Okay.
Rose. Oh, look at
I'm
that.
curious.
Okay.
I'm curious to see who this is.
All right, here we go.
Who's Rose Byrne?
This
Oh.
lady.
Oh yeah. Oh, where do I know her from? She's in a scary movie too. I
Okay,
feel like
yeah,
she's in a scary movie that I
I
know.
see it. I definitely see it.
Yeah, for sure.
How about you, Logan?
I'm gonna go with Bradley Cooper probably. I love me some Bradley Cooper, especially like Silver Linings Playbook. Yeah, that's my boy.
We need to find him with like a mohawk.
Yeah,
Let's see, mohawk.
that's my guy right there.
Okay.
Yeah, just throw a pair of glasses on that bad boy.
This guy.
Yeah. What about you?
Let's see. What's the guy's name? Mario Lopez.
Mario Lopez, Saved by the Bell.
Look at this guy, dude. See that?
Bro.
Yeah.
Dude, your Leonardo DiCaprio picture is pretty great.
Oh yeah.
The Adam Leo.
I can't see the real picture now without like taking a
I
double
know.
take because I'm like, is that?
Same.
Oh, it's the original. Anyway.
Okay, this is getting a little classified, and I wanted to ask you this, but I'm a little nervous that like you're gonna see me just get like taken off the screen right now. Do you believe in aliens?
Oh no, I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
Is there do you have any classified information about anything that you were sworn to secrecy about?
I do, and
Wow.
if I tell you, I'd have to kill you.
Wow, Lizzie the lizard. Wow.
I'm just kidding.
I don't believe you. I believe that you have information that I need to know about at some point in my life. Okay, let's move on. Do you have any tattoos?
I don't.
No tattoos, just
No
tattoos.
You know, there's a show that we watch at night, like when we're in bed, and it's called what's it called? Ink Master.
Oh yeah.
I actually really like this show. It's so cool, and every time I watch it, I want to go get a tattoo, but I can never find the time.
Is that the one with Ami James? Is he the one that runs the shop, the bald guy?
No,
Or is that's a different one?
Ink Master is a bunch of like up and coming artists that compete against each other.
Oh yes. Okay.
The ultimate Ink Master, yeah, and they're judged by like 4 people. DJ Tambi is one of them. There's a blonde gal. She's really good too. And one of the good Charlotte singers, vocals. He's part of
Okay.
the judging panel. Yeah, I really, really like the show. It's so
I
cool.
think I've seen that. That's where like it's like random contestants and then they like pick, like they get paired up and then yeah,
Yes,
I remember that.
I just find these people's gifts and skills to do these arts on skin are just phenomenal. I'm like
Yeah.
this. I just think it's awesome.
Does Pat have any tattoos?
He does. He has multiple.
Nice. My man. All right.
I missed Alea's comment on who would play her, and she said Catherine
Oh, of
O'Hara.
course. Of course. Who loves Catherine?
Do that. It's pretty good.
It's her favorite. I think it should be the girl that played Ellie in Jurassic Park.
I don't
The
know who
blonde
that is.
girl. I don't remember what her name was, but
I can't see this actress without thinking of that time in the Home Alone movie where she's like, Kevin!
oh yeah, totally. God.
Anyway,
I love Home Alone. So good. All right. Would you rather do 50 wall walks for time, 50 wall walks for time, or 300 wall balls for time?
I would say wall balls. I would say wall balls. My arms get really tired. I have a bad wrist and a bad elbow. And I think the injury there is a lot higher, like degree, where it would start to hurt than me squatting on my
Right.
broken knees.
I got it. I get you. All right. What was one of your favorite TV shows growing up?
It would probably have to be. I think I really. So when we first got to the United States, when we first came here, uh, we were introduced to Tom and Jerry.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, so growing up, Tom and Jerry was my favorite cartoon of all. And then there was the Smurfs, and then there's a bunch of others after that. But Tom and Jerry has always been timeless to me.
That's awesome.
I used to watch that too.
We have a friend who she came here from India and she learned most of her English from the show Friends. So she like watched Friends to learn English, and now she speaks fluent English because of that TV show.
That's
I think
great.
that's so cool. All right. Have you been to Disneyland? First, have you been to Disneyland?
I have.
Okay. What's your favorite ride at Disneyland?
Actually, no, I lied. I'm sorry. I've been to Disney World. I don't know if they're the same. I've not been to Disneyland.
Okay. What was your favorite ride at Disney World?
I think it was the Epcot Center ride. It's like a roller coaster ride. It was. I vaguely remember it, but I know it was an Epcot Center ride.
Okay, so like fast, high speed.
It wasn't fast. It wasn't like crazy fast, like Great America Six Flags crazy fast. It was. It was fairly mild,
Okay.
comparatively speaking.
Was it recent or in the
No,
past?
yeah, I think I was 12 or 13, so it was a long
Okay.
time.
Okay. I have one more, and then I have a slew of questions that we're just going to rapid fire. The last one before we go into those is, what was a time when you were trying to be sneaky and got caught?
Oh, geez. Uh, I think, oh gosh. Okay, let me tell you this story. So when after high school, I was, I think I was like 19 or 20. I might have been 20, and I was working at Dave and Buster's. And I was Dave and Buster closes pretty late at like 2, and then if you're a cashier, you have to cash out, you have to do side work and all that stuff. You have
Yeah.
to close. So you don't get out of there till like pretty late. And my parents aren't used to me coming home at 2 in the morning. My dad's a preacher, and he hardly ever let me out past sunset. So I would have to justify why I was always late. I was at work, and I was at work, and I have to close down, and I give him all these reasons. But gosh, I hope he doesn't watch this. I was out partying, smoking, and getting drunk, and doing a bunch of stupid stuff. And so I would come home, and they knew they could. I never thought that they could smell the food and all the alcohol, and they did. And we got into a huge argument one time, but I thought I was being sneaky, and apparently they knew. They weren't stupid.
Yeah, parents have that thing. I don't know if I've told it on here, but when my parents would go away to Lake Havasu for the weekend in California and leave my brother and I were in high school, they would leave us for the weekend and be like, all right, you have all the food in the fridge. Your brother can drive if you get hurt or whatever. My brother's 2 years older than I am. Essentially, they were like, he had this freaker van that was like all painted black. It was like his skateboard van, whatever, kept all of his stuff in it. And so when he would leave, it would just be me by myself. And I was like 15, so I would get the spare key I knew where my parents hid it, and then I would go like drive to meet my friends' places, like nothing crazy, just like houses or coffee shops, whatever. And my mom told me later on, this was like maybe a few years ago, we were at my parents' house, and my mom said, did you know that we were so nervous about you guys drinking out our alcohol that we would put all of the alcohol, the open bottles, in one trash bag, and we would put it in the trunk of my car. So when you would steal my car, you were driving around with all these bottles in the back that were open. And I wasn't interested in that, but I was at the time, but I was like, why would you do that, Mom? She's like, I didn't think you would steal my car and go take it for joyride. So not like I got caught, but it was just a revelation that came up later, and we just thought it was really funny. So glad I never got pulled over.
I was gonna ask, did you ever get pulled over? No.
I never got pulled over, although one time I was with some friends and they were in their car and I was in my mom's car, and I clearly showed them I had no idea what I was doing because I needed to buy gas because we were going somewhere far and I needed to match the gas level. And I pulled up on the correct side of where the gas goes in, thought it was the wrong side, reversed, turned around, got out, realized it was the wrong side, and turned back around. And they're like, what are you doing? And I was like, I don't know. I have no idea. I can't drive. So anyways. All right. That's that. Let's move on. These are quick questions, yes or no. We're at 53 minutes, so I'm going to try to keep this under an hour. So hit me with your first thought when I hit you with these questions. Do ghosts watch us use the potty?
No.
Okay. Do you believe in rainbows?
Yes.
Watermelon is the best fruit?
No.
Okay, what's the best fruit?
Mangoes.
Okay, mangoes. I think I asked this one before on another one, but which of these options makes you more shook? Why is 11 not pronounced as 1T1? 1T1. Why is it called a first birthday when it's really the second birthday?
Oh, probably the latter. Why is it called a first birthday when it's the second?
I agree. 1T1. What animal do you think is the biggest party one?
Is the biggest what?
Party one.
Party animal?
Yeah, which animal do you think is the biggest party one?
Probably the monkey.
Oh yeah, heck yeah, I agree with that 100%. I've never thought about that question in my life, and I agree with that answer. I don't even have to think about it. Um, Trader Joe's, Sprouts, or Whole Foods? Which one?
Sprouts.
Okay. All right. And then last one. Do you think you could take Pat in a sanctioned boxing match?
Oh no, I could not.
I don't know.
No.
The Marine Corps is pretty easy for you, so.
He's a little stronger than I am.
But what if we like scaled the weight? So like his boxing gloves were a lot heavier than your boxing gloves. So he like couldn't hold his arms up.
Maybe there's a chance. Maybe there's a chance.
Have you
All
ever
right.
wanted to box him though?
You know, we did pugil sticks in the Marine Corps, and that was harder than I thought. It's not as easy as it looks. Um, it was. I mean, you get hit by them, it's pretty hard.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
What have you seen the movie oh man. What's the movie? The boxing army movie. It's like it's the name of a port. What's a famous like
Who,
army port?
who
What was
was
that?
in it? Do you know who was in it?
It was James Franco, and
Oh,
Tyrese Gibson was his like commander, and he always wanted to go to this famous port. He could see it from where he was, and he finally gets accepted into the
Annapolis.
Annapolis. That's it, dude.
yes.
You've never seen that? Oh
No.
my gosh, it's so good. You need to go. You and Pat need to go watch this. It's like he goes into the Navy, and then he finds out that he can box, and he gets the opportunity to box his commander, who is like super mean to him. Yeah, and then so he has to make weight, and so he's eating all this food and
Mm.
Snickers bars and stuff to try to make weight, and then he finally gets to like they get to go head to head at the very end in a boxing match.
Oh wow. No, I've not seen this. So, look, sounds like a very entertaining movie.
So good. Yeah, hey, anybody that's listening to this, our four viewers, Annapolis. If you haven't seen Annapolis, go watch. There's actually a kid that used to go to Hammer when you and Pat were part of Hammer. His name, oh man, his name escapes me right now, but he was going into the Navy, and I had a not VHS, a DVD of Annapolis, and I gave it to him to let him borrow it, and he gave it back to me like 3 days later and was like, "Dude, thank you so much for letting me see this."
I think I know who
It
you're
is,
talking about. I don't
yeah.
remember his name, but I think I know who you're talking about.
He his name was it was Caleb. It was Caleb something, and
So
younger guy. Um, yeah, he was a cool kid. But anyways, great movie. Go watch Annapolis. And yes, it is the Fast and Furious of Navy SEAL military movies.
So is there an Annapolis 8 and 9 and 10?
yeah.
There's not. Tyrese was too busy making the Fast and Furious one. So, all right, that's all I got.
All right. Well, this has been fun. Lizzie, thank you for sharing about your life and answering our silly questions. Before we close out, anything else you want to share or say?
No, just thank you guys for just opening the gym and just being there to, just help others with help. At the beginning, working out for me was just, looking good and having a good body, whatever. But now the older you get, I'm going to be 50 this year, you guys. This is the year where I'm 50. And 5 years ago, my outlook changed to health. It's funny how that happens, but in that you guys have an organization, a company, whatever you want to call it, where you give people the opportunity to go and be in better shape and improve their health outcomes. And so, just thank you for giving that opportunity to other people.
Yeah, thank
Yeah.
you. That's great.
Great.
I think
I think
when we have we have some members that come in that are in their 70s.
70s,
My mom's in her late
mom's in her
60s.
late
So
60s.
when we see them
them
doing burpees and squats, it's inspirational because I feel like when I'm in my 70s, I'm hoping that I can do burpees and squats the same way they are. So, and that's like where we're all going, right? Time's not slowing down. So,
Mhm. Yep.
anyways, Logan, what you got?
Nothing. Thanks for being prepared. Like so prepared, and thanks for explaining everything. Like that was awesome. I don't feel like we've had one person come on and be like, "All right, let me take you back to when I was 3."
No
No, and that
pauses,
was
no ums.
yeah. We didn't have to ask any questions. That was and that I think that's why we're at exactly an hour right now. Usually we're at like an hour 20 by
Yeah.
now. So
Setting the bar high, just like you do at the gym. So.
yeah. Thanks,
Well,
Lizzie.
yep. Well, thank you again. Thank you everyone for watching, either now live with us or in the future. And we hope to see you at the gym soon. See ya.
Peace out, guys. Thanks.